What was that?
Welcome back to a evil Takano episode of Higurashi. Yeah, that's
You've rubbed it away.
I've worn a hole. See it like perfectly.
The rubber is
it
gone.
Perfectly fits my thumb. Because that's when I first got a new mouse. I was pissed because I didn't have the thumb hole that I wear into it over time. And I was wondering why my mouse felt so weird. And then after time, it's adapted. There's a mark like that in my car because of how much I drive, and I have my elbow here. There is a perfect elbow indent on the left side of where I have my elbow all the time. Who is this?
It's the day after Watanagashi.
Oh, it's a neutral.
Oh, she showed up at our school.
No, this is Keiichi. Or is it Rika?
I don't know. Hit it.
This is Rika.
It's Rika.
As soon as you get the word uncommon, and today it's Rika Gaming.
It isn't uncommon for Oishi to show up here today. Interestingly, he always asks to see the most key person in that world. He asks for Keiichi in the world where he gets sick. He asks for Rina in the world where she gets sick. In this world, he asks for me.
Uh-oh.
Did Tomitake
Flash.
really die? Yes. The way he went was pretty strange too. Like he was on drugs and hallucinating.
Dude, Oishi's cracked.
He clawed out his own throat until he died. I couldn't prevent it. There's nothing I can do now. I knew this was going to happen. I'm sure Takano is dead too. And Takano? I have bad news about her too. She was found burned to death in the mountains over in Gifu Prefecture. Based on the conditions of the body, she was choked to death before her body was burned. It's a tragic story no matter how you look at it. I know what you're thinking. You think I know something about what happened to them. Heavens, no! I only have one question. Who would talk about such a disturbing plan at the festival where anyone could hear? You think I'm involved in this murder?
Moide.
Well, I wanted to suspect you, but I don't. If you were responsible in some way, you wouldn't have given me hints. The hints you did. At the very least, I'm sure you're not involved with the people who killed him. I'm glad you're not suspicious of me. Oishi threw a 10-yen coin into the offering box and shook the bell in prayer. Please, let us solve the mystery of Hinamizawa this year. Are you trying to get me involved in your investigation?
So, as a player, I'm like, what else is there for me to figure out? Takano's it. And it's a drug.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the Rika time looping is when, like, the plot changes from everything else to, like, figuring out how to not let Rika time loop. Okay.
No, I was just talking to Yashiro-sama. Oishi is well aware that people call me the reincarnation of Oyashiro-sama. That must have been his attempt as a joke. At a joke. I'd like to see the curse disappear forever, too. Oh, that means we both want the same thing. I made a prediction about where you might find the Tomatake's body. Didn't you have a police cruiser nearby? Yes, I listened to your prediction. Not a cruiser patrolled the area. The place where the concrete and gravel roads meet is on the border of the village. It gets very dark there at night. It always seems like something bad will happen. It would happen there. So did you find Tomatake's body?
Flash.
We found him dead by the rice fields near Okinomiya. That's not where his body is usually found.
So this is where Rika figures out it's Takano, right?
Yeah, we gotta...
Because the only people that would have known the information about where Tomitake Flash was going to die is Tomitake, Takano, Rika, Irie.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the only 4 people.
Mm-hmm. If he was fated to hallucinate and die, he would die in the exact same spot, whether the cruiser is there or not. Just because the cruiser was placed there, Tomatake's
Flash.
body was found at a totally different spot. In other words, the existence of the police cruiser disrupted that fate.
Oishi.
Anyway, there's something else I found very interesting. I told the officers in the police cruiser to check every vehicle that passed by. As it turns out, one of the cars that headed towards Okinomiya after the festival was over was Takano's. Takano lives in Okinomiya. It wouldn't be strange for her to head home after the festival. However, she was the only one inside the car. Tomatake wasn't with her. Tomatake always comes to Hinamizawa on his bike. Then she could have loaded his bike in the trunk and given him a ride, but he was not with her. However, his body was found among the rice fields near Okinomiya, past where the police cruiser was patrolling in Hinamizawa.
Oishi's actually a fucking genius.
What are you saying? There's no way he could have biked through the dark woods to avoid the police cruiser. He somehow took the road of being noticed by us. Furude-san, can you tell me what you know about the relationship between Tomatake and Takano? They're dating. That's all I know. I find it hard to believe that Takano would drive back home alone in the dark without her boyfriend. What if she had Tomatake in her trunk and she was planning to dump his body in the woods?
He's actually a genius.
But because the cruiser was in that area, she had no choice but to pass by and dump him on the side of the road. Both Tomatake and Takano were sent here from Tokyo. So you and I are the only ones that know that Takano is the culprit.
Yeah, but I mean, Oishi knows.
I have no idea what the real identities are.
And Rika could put this together.
Mm-hmm.
You tell
Oh,
Oishi...
I mean, listen, if Rika could have put it together, she would have put it together 18 loops ago.
Okay.
50 loops ago. 400 years ago.
Okay. Fair.
She has to be told point blank by someone else what happened.
But Oishi just told her. So, you're telling me she can't put together the fact that Tomatake would have been seen by the police cruiser if he went that way, where the bike ended up.
I mean...
So the only way he wouldn't have been seen by the police cruiser is if he was in somebody's car.
Well, maybe,
and then Takano, who is dating him, went home alone without him. Mm-hmm. And then conveniently, he's found past the police car on her way home. Mm-hmm. Keiichi could put it together.
True. Well, yeah, maybe.
If Keiichi would have put it together.
I have no idea what the real identities are. I can't say that Takano had no reason to kill Tomatake. However, I've never considered that possibility before in my life.
Thank you, Rika.
Takano killing Tomatake? But why? I can't think of any reason. Nothing comes to mind. And it's hard to imagine Takano was cornered to the point that she had to kill him. In fact, it was more plausible to think that she was enraged when the lovesick Tomatake acted cold towards her and she strangled his neck. I never really thought they insulted each other. No, I don't mean to insult Tomatake-kun, but I thought Takano-san was way too smart for him.
Based.
Have you heard any of the rumors that she was trying to use him for anything? Any rumors that she was trying to use him for anything? None, but I can ask around. I'll let you know if I find something. Thank you very much. I'm just glad that the reincarnation of Oyashiro-sama is on my side. But even the reincarnation of Oyashiro-sama couldn't solve this mystery for over 100 years. But you said Takano was killed too. How can she be the culprit? Well, it's because you leaked me the information. I mean, it's a prophecy. Without that, I'm sure I would have just believed that both Takano and Tomatake were victims of the 5th year's curse of Oyashiro-sama. Feel like it's different this time. Maybe as though this is someone trying to make the curse of Oyashiro-sama happen. So you really think that Takano-san is the culprit? Basically, this is what Oishi's trying to say. They're not both victims. The culprit is also pretending to be a victim. This is really hard for me to believe. I can't think of any reason why Takano would do something like this. Oishi only feels this way because he doesn't know her as well as I do. For another thing, how can he explain that Takano's body was found? Didn't the police in Gifu Prefecture identify the body? For a charred corpse, the easiest way to identify them is by their dental records. Although, according to the old man of forensics, they're still not 100% sure. And besides, there's a contradiction with the estimated time of death. It just doesn't make sense.
What do you mean?
Well, the test results showed that she was dead on the night before the festival. Apparently they inspected the contents of her stomach and such. But at the time of testing, they already had information about Takano. They knew that she was at the festival that night and realized that the test results didn't match up, so they just dumped the results and decided to take the dental records alone. These things do happen every once in a while. However, if Takano really is the culprit, his body might just belong to someone else.
Is it possible to do something like that?
When a body is burnt, dental records are the only way to identify it. This might sound too much like a mystery novel, but what if, for example, someone faked Mio Takano's dental records? If they were skillfully forged, we could have the wrong ID. Anyway, the Gifu Police Department has made up their mind that the body belongs to Takano. Within police departments, we sometimes have issues with false test results. That's how most false charges are made. It feels to me like this is one of those times.
So you think Takano is alive?
Since last night, both Mio Takano and her car have gone missing. That body found in Gifu is in Takano. This is going to be very interesting indeed.
Oishi just knows.
He's just finally been put on the right track for once.
He finally had one singular clue make sense, and then it's over.
Idiot had already heard of the
Fuck me.
Idiot had already heard of the deaths of Tomotage
Flash.
and Takano. It seemed like both the clinic and the office in Tokyo had flown into a panic over it.
Sorry. Now I'm just imagining me every time I mess up going normal Rika back to spooky Gorp Rika. It's just her like, wait. Sorry, let me get back into my LARP real quick here. Sorry, wrong voice.
There are two wolves inside of you, Fake Rika and Gorp Rika.
It seemed like both the clinic and the office in Tokyo had flown into a panic over it. It's funny how they make such a big fuss about their own people when they don't care about what happens to other people's lives. It will get in the way of their research. Takano's subordinate, Okanogi, was in the room. Okanogi is the leader of the mountain dogs. I came here to make sure he's still willing to protect me. Based on past experience, they tend to lose interest in protecting me after Takano dies. Okanogi, Takano's dead. Am I still safe?
Fuck. Don't worry, Rika-san. We'll still keep up the tight security around you. You don't have to call the police.
I guess this is part of that tight security? They must have been listening to my conversation with Oishi. Oishi told me something. Is it true that Takano really isn't dead? Isn't really dead?
That can't be true. The Gifu Police Department made an official announcement that Oishi is retiring this year, isn't he? Sometimes he makes up stories because he's desperate to solve the curse of Oyashiro-sama. You shouldn't pay attention to anything he says.
Well, he's not wrong. This year is Oishi's last chance. Because he's so desperate, he's developed a bad habit of listening to every rumor he hears. What's your opinion about this, Okanogi?
Right now, they're still investigating, so I can't say anything. Knowing the relationship between those two, I think it's clear that this was done by someone within the organization.
I glanced over at Irie as I listened to Okanogi speak. It seemed that whoever he was talking to over the phone was accusing him of killing them. Irie was frantically trying to prove his innocence. Soon enough, he hung up the phone. Irie looked upset that he was under suspicion after working so hard for the organization. Oh, Rika-chan! I'm sorry for making you wait. It seems like you're in big trouble. Just as you heard. It sounds like there's some big conspiracy behind their deaths. People in Tokyo think I'm the one who's pulling the strings. Good grief, I have a lot of questions as to how they figure that. I rarely ever saw Irie get so emotional. He must be feeling as though all his effort is being repaid with injustice. However, it's a fact that Irie was trying to fight against the budget cuts and downsizing of his research team. Tokyo is thinking that could be his motive for killing them. In any case, everyone in the organization is suspicious. I understand how scared you must feel. The people who attacked Takano and Tomatake-san could be after you too. The people in Tokyo are also concerned about that.
Spock, we got the order to tighten up your security. Don't worry.
I'm very relieved to hear that. This was the first time the Mountain Dogs had ever tightened up my security. They usually become so busy keeping tabs on Irie after Tomatake and Takano's deaths that they end up ignoring me. Even though they're dead, I'm still in a pretty favorable situation. So do you have any idea who killed them? People in Tokyo are investigating that now. Based on the situation, it's clear that this was done by someone within the organization. I guess I was the prime suspect. You're the only one who could kill Tomatake like that. That's not true. Some people in Tokyo are discussing the possible use of H173, but that drug was destroyed when the research was cancelled. It's impossible.
Oh. However, they have no choice but to suspect you in this case. Mr. Tomatake Flash even took a vaccine before he came here, but he still got infected.
This must be just an extremely unlikely coincidence. Anyway, it's just impossible.
I wonder who issued said vaccine.
Irie is usually a very calm person, but once the people in Tokyo start suspecting him, he often loses his mind.
Yeah.
Do you think Takano might be the culprit? She's someone within the organization. Takano-san? No way! But as he spoke, Irie also started to realize that everything could be explained if Takano was the culprit. But I don't know how to persuade him that it's the truth. More than anything, people want to hear a motive. Not who did something, but why. Knowing that probably isn't as important as it sounds. After all, you never know the motive unless a suspect talks. Guessing about the motive is just a waste of time. In other words, it's stupid to assume that Takano isn't the culprit just because I don't know what her motive is. Rika-san, you can't say something that,
It's definitely the Mountain Dog. Oh, Rika-san, you can't say something like that without any proof. She was very nice to you. How can you suspect her after that? You're up.
I don't think that's real.
Look up the company later.
Upon hearing me be ungrateful towards his boss, Okinoki flashed me an unpleasant smile. It's true that Takano was very nice to me. It might be disrespectful of me to suspect her. However, I still can't trust her completely yet. Perhaps I've developed the same bad habit as Oishi. Am I believing every crazy theory just because I'm desperate to escape from my fate? In any case, something bad is going to happen here. We need to be careful.
Don't worry, we've received an order to tighten up your security too.
Irie smiled bitterly. For him, their protection wouldn't be too different from stalking.
Rika-san, make sure you don't give up too much information to the police. I think you understand, but you could create a problem if you talk to them about our secrets.
He was implying that he'd have to kill anyone I talked to. This isn't the first time they've warned me about this. It's just, what if Takano really is the culprit? If she is, then Okinoki is almost certainly involved too. Then it makes sense that he wouldn't want me to suspect Takano. But that would be horrifying. If Takano was my enemy, then the Mountain Dogs were too. This whole clinic is a lion's den. Irie is just a researcher, so he probably wouldn't know what's really going on. The more I thought about it, the more confused I got.
Why would Takano do something like this? I thought I'd just convinced myself that the motive shouldn't matter, but I can't stop thinking about it. Is Takano really behind it all? Am I going as crazy as Oishi just because of how badly I want to solve this mystery? Perhaps the mountain dogs are more like wolves looking after a flock of sheep. I lived for over 100 years. I never once found out who killed me, and I stayed close to the Irie Institute so that they'd protect me. What if that was my big mistake? Well, I'm sure that Irie has no bad intentions. In many lives, I got to see just how genuine his feelings are. I can trust him. However, he's not really reliable. Okanogi glanced over at me. He smiled and told me not to worry, but I noticed a good evil glint in his eyes. It's possible that I have Hinamizawa syndrome, and that was just an hallucination. I don't understand anything. I don't even know who my enemies are anymore. There's no point in thinking about this any longer. I have to only trust who I know I can trust for sure. There are only a few of those people though. Irie, Oishi, and my friends. If Okanogi is on Takano's side, he'll be watching me very closely. If I start accusing Takano of anything, who knows what they do to me. When this world first began, I thought I had no time left. But that wasn't true. The number of things that happened in just 2 weeks was immense. I probably only have a few more days until the day of my death. What can I do? How can I change this? How am I supposed to just take Hanyu's advice? Am I supposed to just take Hanyu's advice and resign this time? Hello, Mian.
The club is in this game?
Yeah. She's been missing since the night of the Watanagashi.
The Sonozakis could take on the mountain dogs.
I think the club can take on the mountain dogs.
Hey. No, but like Mion's dad's branch at like the Yakuza could definitely take on the mountain dogs.
I think they only need one person from his branch.
Kasai.
Could it be the curse of Yashiro-sama?
It's freaky that this has happened 5 years now in a row.
Rika.
Hinamizawa is a small village. Rumors spread fast here. Besides, she's Mian Sonozaki. She would have found out about this yesterday even if the police were trying to hide it. My friends were all talking about the mysterious death of Tomatake
Flash.
and the disappearance of Takano. People in this village are very superstitious. No matter what happens, they conclude that everything is the curse of Oyashiro-sama. The past incidents don't matter to me either way. All I'm interested in is the current one. The culprit in this case will probably kill me too. 2 days have passed since Watanagashi. Today is Tuesday, June 21st, 1983. At the earliest, I'll get killed on the night of the 22nd. That is tomorrow night. The day of my death is always different. I always end up getting killed, but the day when it happens varies. I guess the culprit has their own reasons for that. There's only one thing I'm sure about. Based on my experiences, I'll live for sure until tomorrow night. After then, I'll have to live with the fear of getting murdered at any moment. Still, there's no real reason to be afraid. When I wake up, I'll be in a brand new world again. I can never remember how I'm killed. That's why I'm not afraid of the killing itself. I'm just frustrated that my life is about repeating the same things over and over like a broken record. However, at present I'm frustrated. My classmates just expect that their peaceful days will continue forever. But I couldn't feel that way. I feel frustrated and full of sorrow, as I really don't want to die.
It's tomorrow night. Are you ready, Rika?
How foolish of you to even ask. What makes it look like I am? Hanyu was trying to warn me that I might get killed tomorrow night, as though she already knew it was going to happen for sure.
You worked very hard, Rika. This life's Watanagashi was the best festival I've ever had. Didn't you feel that way too?
It was fun. It really was fun. Sadako had band-aids all over her face, but everyone was there together, and we kept up a storm. I want this world to continue forever. I can't accept that. I can't accept that this world is going to end tomorrow at the earliest, and with 1 or 2 weeks at the latest.
I'm sure your next life will be just as fun.
So this world is over and done with. This is such a happy world, but it's just gonna end like that. All of my friends are alive and happy. Keiichi doesn't feel alone. And Rena's family is happy too. Mion and Shion are getting along, as well as Shion and Sadako. The issue of Sadako's uncle is resolved, and she's no longer treated coldly by the other villagers. This is the best world I've ever experienced. But this world is going to end.
Rika, you think of yourself as a normal person too often, when we're both special beings. Every child wants their birthday party to continue forever, but the party always ends. That's why children always wish for their enjoyable moments to continue for all time. I hate on you so much. But that doesn't mean they'll grieve over a party that's ended. Once they sleep, another day will come for them. Something wonderful will happen again. No one disappears like Cinderella once the party is over.
What a way for you to describe my view on life.
Okay, yeah, it's still on you. You're like a child who's crying because she doesn't want to leave the party. But
construction noises.
But there's no need to feel that sad, is there? She says this is going the metal pipe clanging sound while Anyu's talking.
Yeah.
There will be another party again soon. You still hate to go through another death, but it's only like sleeping for a while, isn't it?
Hanyu, don't you want to see what lies beyond June of 1983? Good job, Frederica.
I would be lying if I said I didn't. But
Oh my god. It's so bad.
I'm more concerned about you being consumed.
That's not the water heater, is it?
No, that's him fixing the water heater.
That is him fixing
Yeah,
the water heater?
yeah.
Jeez.
I was gonna say, I don't think Cameron's making all that noise. But I'm more concerned about you being consumed by that thought and getting hurt because of it.
I'm loving at how much is messing with you.
You just don't understand. Without you, I'd have to live for such a long time without anyone to talk to. And I'll only be able to stare at the festival without being part of it. And no one will be able to see me. And no one will be able to hear me talk. To hear me or talk to me either. Do you have any idea of how miserable and lonely that would be? But I finally found you, Rika. I can't survive without you anymore. But I can't just die like you can either.
I hate this voice.
I'll have to live alone until the end of time. I'll have to be alone until someone like you shows up again. I don't want that. I can't stand the thought of it.
Hanyu.
Rika, please... I got called. Please take back that heartbreaking promise you made. I don't want you to give up if this world doesn't work out for you.
Hanyu. I'm sorry. I have to think about it for a while. I want to do what I can until the end. When that happens, I can decide what to do. If I think there's still some hope, I can go on living. But I feel desperate enough, I can just give up. It might not ultimately be a bad thing to repeat June of 1983 over and over. Perhaps I might be blessed with another fortunate life someday. Hanyu nodded with a little satisfaction after hearing that, sensing that my feelings were starting to lean the way she wanted them.
Rika forgets again that she can influence the world and that she can make a world fortunate.
What's up, Rena? Nope.
No?
Keiichi?
Keiichi?
Keiichi POV?
Yeah, Keiichi POV. What's up, Brenna? Are you plotting to take Rika-chan home with you?
Hey, Keiichi-kun. Don't you think that Rika-chan seems to be feeling down?
I don't know. She might still be tired from doing the dedication dance at the festival. Oh, Keiichi. Rika-chan was sitting all by herself, wearing a sad expression. I'd said she might still be tired from the festival, but that wasn't really how it looked.
Sadako-chan is free now, so I thought she'd have a spring in her step, but she's been acting weird since yesterday. I wonder if something's going on.
Sadako's issues are all settled now. There shouldn't be anything that's troubling her anymore. We'd thought Sadako and Rika-chan might not be able to live together if they found a new guardian for Sadako, but that problem is almost solved. Either the Sonozaki family, that was a pop, or the Kimiyoshi family will become her guardian. And Mayor Kimiyoshi is already Rika's guardian. If the Sonozaki family gets custody, Sadako will officially become Shion's little sister. Anyway, I had no idea why Rika-chan was acting so upset.
I think we should ask her what's going on.
No, it's
Nope,
Keiichi.
no, it's Keiichi.
I think we should
Keiichi.
ask her what's going on.
I don't want her to think that we're insensitive. But I guess you can ask her, I guess.
Brenna's like, alright, Keiichi. Yeah, there it is. So you're saying that it's okay for me to be insensitive? Rinna laughed and stuck her tongue out at me. I walked up to Rika-chan and struck up a conversation. Perhaps something is still troubling Sadako, and we just don't know about it. If that's the case, we need to help her. You don't look so good. Is anything weird going on?
Oh, Keiichi.
Rika-chan had been daydreaming, and it took her a while to realize that I was talking to her.
Do I look upset or something?
Kinda. Is anything the matter? It took her a while to answer. Such a long silence had to mean yes.
Keiichi, there's a poem I want you to listen to. Don't ask me who wrote it. I just want to know what you think.
Alright, let me hear it then. Rika-chan closed her eyes and recited a short poem. It went something like this.
Everyone has the right to be happy, yet it's so hard to receive. Everyone has the right to be happy, yet it's so hard to fulfill. I have the right to be happy, yet it's so hard to compromise.
Thank you, Frederica. That's a pretty interesting poem.
I
Did you
love
write
how-
it?
I love actually how Ryukishi wrote the person who's been looping for 100 years into that, and said they just turned to writing poetry. Like, is that not just anything like on any other character that would seem pretentious, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not supposed to ask that, huh?
No, you're not. What did you think after hearing it?
Everyone has the right to be happy, yet it's so hard to receive. I understand that. Everyone does have the right to be happy, but that doesn't mean that everyone can receive that happiness. Everyone has the right to be happy, yet it's so hard to fulfill. And this one's a little harder to understand, but exercising that right probably refers to the process of finding happiness. Everyone has the right to work hard for their happiness, but it's not that easy for that work to bear fruit. I have the right to be happy, yet it's so hard to compromise. I guess she's trying to talk about compromising your happiness. There's no limit to human desires. You can never stop wanting more. That's why people need to make compromises on their happiness. At least, that's how I understand it. If she was trying to say that we should be satisfied with what we have, it sounded like a positive statement. But there's also a negative tone to the way it's presented.
Keiichi's built better, Corporica.
I think the poem is reflecting the feelings of the writer.
I think it is too. So what else did you think, Sharpie Rika?
She wouldn't admit it, but I'm sure Rika-chan is the one who made that poem, and it's reflecting on how she's feeling. I'm not that smart, but even I can understand that. I thought it was a sad poem.
Sad?
I understand the first two lines. Everyone has a right to be happy, but not everyone can become happy that easily. I think those lines are describing the difficult part of our lives. But the last line is different. Making compromises is the same thing as giving up. The writer of this poem is given up on their happiness, compromised with reality, and trying to convince themselves that they're happy.
Trying to convince themselves they're happy, you say?
Yeah, with plenty of regrets, too. Everyone can become happy with enough effort, but she thinks that she can't. The poem reflects her hopelessness. It's very sad.
Dude, Keiichi's cracked.
Then, Keiichi, what do you think she should do?
She shouldn't give up.
She shouldn't give up?
The writer of this poem already knows how she can be happy. It's something that she deserves. She's been thinking about how to become happy for a long time. If she really wants to be happy, she shouldn't give up. Remember, we overcame a desperate situation in only a few days. If we can all work together, we can make a miracle happen. You saw it with your own eyes, didn't you? What's troubling you? Talk to me.
There's something I want to talk to all of you about. But if I do that, you won't be able to live in this village anymore. Happiness for me would be to see what's beyond June of 1983, together with all of you. It wouldn't mean anything if I lived beyond this June without you.
We won't be able to live in Hinamizawa anymore. Oh, why is that?
They'll kill you if they find out I talk to you. That's why I can't say anything.
What do you mean, they'll kill us? Are you being threatened by someone? The word kill is not something that most people use casually. I was shocked to hear it coming from her mouth. That's why I couldn't help but raise my voice.
I don't know who's the enemy and who's not. The only thing I know for sure is that someone is going to kill me.
Wait, Rika-chan, talk to me. What the hell is going on? Is Teppei threatening her? No, that isn't possible. The police arrested him, and besides that, the Sonozaki family told him to never come back to the village. There's no way he could contact Rika-chan in order to threaten her. And even if that somehow was the case, Rika-chan could just talk to Mion and everything would be taken care of. But based on her expression, it seems like this is way deeper than that.
I'm sorry. If I talk, you'll be dragged into this. If I lose you, I have no more reason to survive. I just can't talk to you about this. I'm not going to compromise my happiness.
I don't understand what you're trying to say, but you sound just like Sadako did a few days ago.
Like Sadako?
Yeah. You're thinking it's better to be patient. You forgot the courage needed to fight. You sound like that. Weren't you the one who told Sadako to be brave over the phone? And my words had clearly hurt Rika-chan's feelings. She bit her lip and went quiet for a moment.
If I talk to you, you might get killed too.
Well, I don't want that. But if we don't do anything, you're going to get killed, right? We don't want a future without you either, Rika-chan.
What?
You may not want to get us involved, but likewise, we don't want to lose you either. We welcome the struggle. Besides, you know how powerful we can be together. I'm sure we can solve anything if we all work as one.
Not even our combined strength can solve the problem.
You don't want to talk to us because you don't want to drag us into it, right? So what you're saying is that you want to die without telling us anything.
I guess that's what I'm saying.
Don't think that being patient is the same as being brave. Remember the courage to fight. You can talk to me anytime, once you organize your feelings. We'll help you. You can count on us.
Thank you.
Rika-chan was wearing a sorrowful smile. I could tell that she appreciated my sympathy. I don't know why, but Rika-chan is troubled by something. It's a matter of life and death for her. She can't even talk to us about it. At the very least, she won't talk to me.
How was it, Keiichi-kun?
Is Rika-chan troubled by something? That doesn't happen very often.
Sadako, this is gonna sound strange, but is there any chance that someone is threatening Rika-chan's life?
What?
What in the world are you saying, Keiichi-san?
Rika-chama is like the village mascot. People worship her. No one would ever try to kill her. What's this? What are you guys talking about?
The more I talked to my friends, the stranger it seemed that someone would try and kill Rika-chan. Everyone was even more confused than I felt. Rika-chan didn't talk to me about what's troubling her, but I'm sure there's something very serious going on with her. If she really trusts us, I'm sure she'll talk to us soon. Let's believe everything she tells us if she opens her heart, okay? Everyone gets serious. We all looked at each other and nodded. Yeah, I know, the copy paste me on face. I can't wait for the breakneck pace ending of this game, which is going to be everyone eats shit and dies.
Damn, how do you keep predicting it, man?
I'm so good. I'm cracked. I've played 0 Ryukishi games before, actually. I wrote these.
From here on, it all starts to unravel. Number 34.
Number 34.
This is the first instance of the number that you will...
Why did Ryukishi pick 34, man? He could have picked any other number.
I can't wait to point it out literally everywhere.
He's 34 gaming, dude.
Another discolored notebook. The Son of God promised that he would...
Got you. Yeah, there you go.
The Son of God promised that he would be resurrected within 3 days. Sinful men guarded his grave to make sure he would not wake up, but that was foolish of them. He meant that his spirit and his lessons would be resurrected, not his physical shell. Do not be afraid of physical death. If you achieve great things, you will live again. You will surpass death and become immortal. A demon took the Son of God to a cliff and told him to jump off. What was your voice for the grandpa again?
I don't know. It's one of those I would just have to figure out
Okay.
when I do it. Or I'd have to re-listen to it.
He claimed that he was really a son of God. A miracle helped him survive.
Is this Grandpa?
He tried to challenge the Lord. The Lord challenges humans, but humans may not challenge the Lord. The challenge is to suspect. Suspicion will speak words of evil into your ears, and it will make you falter. Do not doubt your own achievements. Do not doubt your own life. Do not doubt your contributions. Do not let others criticize your achievements. That is the same as doubting your own life. Hifumi T.
I'm very excited to meet Hifumi.
He doesn't get a sprite, unfortunately. Not in this version.
It's so lame.
Okay, it is currently 3:33 p.m. right now.
The witching hour! I don't think that's actually the witching
You
hour.
want to say anything before we do the marathon episode next time?
So Higurashi went from a weird story about a guy going crazy and killing his friends to a government conspiracy to release biological terrorism upon Japan.
Yes.
Nice!
Yeah.